July can be an extremely frustrating time of the year for gardening, and here in central North Carolina, that's no exception. We're facing extreme drought, and the heat is going to be in the hundreds for the next 5 days or so. So let Lori and I share with you some tips and suggestions to get you through these frustrating times. Now, the first tip is deep watering, and we do it early in the morning. I prefer to get out here before the heat really sets in and that sun's just baking down on us. And so how much you water and how frequently you water really depends on your environment. For us here, I don't usually have to water these young trees, and Mother Nature helps us out. But we've had such a drought that I've got to come in here every about 3 to 4 days and give it a good deep soak. Now, not everything in our garden needs to be hand watered. We do have some drip irrigation that we use in most all of our raised beds. And as you can see here, I've got these soaker lines. They're typically buried, touching the soil. Now, to make our life a little bit easier, we've got all of our drip lines set on timers. Sometimes I have them on a schedule, sometimes I don't. When we're here in a drought, I obviously will have them set to go on more frequently versus maybe in the spring or the fall or during a rainy portion. I will just manually control these drip lines so that each bed will get a proper amount of water as needed.
This actually also helps because we're not watering the leaves, we're getting the water to the soil, which will get to the roots, which is exactly what the plants need. The less watering that goes on the leaves helps prevent diseases.
Another element is your containers and your grow bags. Now, our grow bags, they need to get watered at least once a day when it's this hot. And I will hand water these grow bags, but we also have these little Ola spikes. This isn't the only thing you can use. They just help and give us that extra bit of water. So even if I'm going away for the weekend, these guys will get water to the roots and keep this plant going when I can't get around to it, and just supply the needed water as necessary.
Another tip that we recommend is adding mulch to your garden beds. We use a layer of leaf mulch consistently throughout the year. We continue to add the leaf mulch. This helps retain the moisture and keeps the soil cooler. There are many types of mulches you can use out there. We happen to use leaf mulch, but you can use straw, you can use pine needles, or you can even use compost. As long as you got your dirt covered, you're protecting your soil.
Another thing that definitely helps is shade cloth. This is 40% shade cloth. We put this on about a month ago. It's not for all our crops, but especially ones like our cucumbers here. That just helps them get through these heat waves that we face and the brutal midday sun. And that shade cloth doesn't need to look pretty. I just put this one together the other day, just trying to help this zucchini plant make it through. So a little bit of chaos here, but just enough to kind of cover it and protect it.
Another tip we recommend is harvesting your vegetables early if you can. If we go ahead and harvest the fruit or the pods on the plant, it will actually help save the energy, not working towards the fruit, but for the rest of the plant. Not only that, on some of these fruits, you can actually pull them when they're not quite ripe, and we'll just let them go ahead and ripen inside. So you may also notice even on tomato plants that they curl up like this. This is actually a natural process of the tomato plants to protect themselves in this extreme heat. Most of the fruits and vegetables can handle temperatures in the 80s to 90s, but plants are going to struggle in the high 90s to 100. You can see in this plant right here, he is struggling. Yes, he still has fruit, but he is really struggling with the hot temperatures. A lot of plants like tomatoes, beans, and peppers will drop their flowers while they're coping with this heavy heat because they're just trying to deal with this extreme heat. It's kind of like survival mode for them.
One thing that does thrive in drought and high heat is pests. So make it a point to walk around your garden, check it out, eliminate what you can, and definitely come in, get rid of some of these leaves that are just dying off, compost those. But one thing that we've definitely had a big problem with this year is squirrels. And that's mostly due to the drought from what I've found. And it's new to us this year. I never thought they would, but they're doing a number on our squash vines. They're just coming in here on a daily basis and eating away. So all we can do is try to prevent as best as possible, but we also have to learn that this is just part of gardening in July, and we need to adapt and do the best we can to make do with what we have. We will try to do our best to do what we can to keep them alive, but sometimes you just got to let it go. One thing we did find success with was taking our ground cherries off of our deck, moving them out into our screened-in sun porch. Therefore, I don't have the frustration on a daily basis of just watching all of these ground cherries get eaten up by the squirrels, but rather I can go into that area and harvest what I need. Well, now we'll leave some of our plants on here just to act as a trap crop. We're not going to get anything more off of this guy, and then eventually I'll get rid of it, and that allows for things like these peppers and this okra here behind it to have a healthy chance of growing and being a good plant for us for the next couple of months to come. One thing that I have learned over the years is that you want to try to have as much joy in this garden as possible, and sometimes that means just letting go of things as they die. When you hold on to things too long, sometimes it just leads to extra pest problems and just more frustration. So like for example, these beans are starting to go and these leaves are dying off. We're going to harvest what we can, but we're also going to get ready to move on to the next phase. And for us, that means getting ready for our fall crop and even some of our winter crop. So now is when we're starting to plan. And so the frustration of plants dying is fixed by us starting to focus now onto some of our fall and winter crops.
These are just a few tips that Keith and I have been using in this extreme heat and drought of the summer. And I'm sure you guys have some more tips to help keep your plants staying cool. So please share your tips in the comments below so that others can benefit from your successes in the garden. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them down below in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video.